Hey everybody, Adam here, and back with a little more vintage. In fact, exactly one more vintage before tomorrow's Eternal Weekend event. And like I said at the end of the last stream, I'm fairly certain this is about what we're looking at here. So I'm going to play some more Blue Tinker. The only change I made to the initial list that I had played is I have moved the Mystical Dispute that was main to the sideboard, and moved the Sphinx of the Steel Wind main from the sideboard. Felt pretty good. I also played some off-camera games of this against my friend Greg the other night, and yeah, this deck, I like this deck a lot. This feels quite strong. So I think this is what we're going to go with. Again, for anybody who didn't catch on Twitter or the Facebook post, I will not be streaming tomorrow's Eternal Weekend event. I will be recording the Eternal Weekend event and my playing through it and floundering about, and that will later be available on my YouTube. And there will also be kind of an article about the whole process and journey or whatever on the Team Swish website, so stay tuned for those. But I will not be streaming tomorrow's event. I just kind of want to focus a little more on the event and kind of chill with it. So that's a lot of hours of playing Magic, and I don't want to fry my brain too much. So that's where we're at. So before we get started, thank you everyone for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Starting next week, we're gonna get back to kind of switching it up a little bit. I'm still gonna play some Vintage, but I'm gonna play a little more Legacy again too. Kind of bounce back and forth between the two, and maybe some other stuff. Who knows? Maybe some Bopper or Modern or whatever kind of strikes me. So we'll play some other stuff. But for the time being, let's hop into one more Vintage League. And thank you everyone for joining today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you deciding to spend your Saturday afternoon with me. And I'm going to spend my Saturday afternoon with some Condor Valley from Waxwings. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Glenn, who brought some over to me yesterday. How's everyone's Saturday going so far? Well, I hope. Already? Boo! Alright. Let's try again. So, game plan is to kind of tighten this list up a little bit, tighten my play patterns a little bit. I had noticed, kind of looking over some of my old footage and talking with Greg, that I noticed some mistakes that I'm kind of prone to. That one come from playing Vintage some time ago, and two come from playing other formats. Wild. This can't be right, though, right? No fast mana. I mean, we have Time Vault online in a couple of turns, but like, you know what? Sure. This will be an experiment in, does this hand do enough? Ruby? Yup. Okay. Sweet. Does one just have a Hullbreacher randomly? Saga. Time Ball? How do we feel about that one, opponent? No, I'm good. That's fine. So this feels like opponent is on blue-red Xerox. Gruden's fine. So if opponent is indeed on blue-red Xerox... Alright. God. Grab another Saga. Can just start cranking out constructs at my opponent. Down the stack first. Okay. Time Vault's in the yard. The only way to get back is to Twister. I don't know that I want a Twister here. I don't hate just grabbing Lotus, to be honest. This Lotus will let me breach Hullbreacher if they go for anything dumb. Alright. I think I want to cast Hullbreacher first. Misstep. What do you got, opponent? You can try to bolt that? Feels like opponent has Bolt. Feels like opponent might also have Hullbreacher. Show it to me. The way opponent has played, it really does feel like they have Hullbreacher, but like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And then Saga's gonna make another construct to tutor up top, maybe? Because I need to find something that's gonna push me into stuff that matters. Opponent's struggling to figure out how they want to respond to this ancestral. Huh. I mean, it doesn't say that opponent is double queuing, so I'm not really sure what's up here. Blast. Blast targeting Ancestral? Yep. Sure. What do I want to grab here? Top's reasonable. Let's just grab Soul Ring, I think. Alright. Attack you for 11. Creatures lose all ability. Oh, rough. Sure, that sucks. So they want to get around this. Okay, Thing in the Ice is fine. Sure. Gonna fetch. Vamp here? How do you feel about Vamp? Daze doesn't seem great against this Vamp, given that I have a Soul Ring active. So what do you got? I didn't even think about that. That's gonna be cute. That's a pretty cool interaction that I never considered. Dress Down just turns off Thing in the Ice's ability that makes it enter with counters, so it just flips automatically once the Dress Down leaves play. That's hilarious. All non-horror creatures. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about the fact that this is about to flip and bounce my Hullbreacher. My opponent's probably going to try to Ancestral in response. Sure. Yeah, was definitely supposed to wait that out. All right. I think I want Force Negation, I suppose. That was supposed to be Force Oil. I'm not drawing that till my turn. That was supposed to be Force Oil. Fluster also works, I suppose? Probably? Sure. Oh. Does that just never flip? That's hilarious. Always yield to Urza. Ah, there's the flip. That's how that works. It checks when you cast the spell. Yikes. Sure, that sucks. Botched that one pretty good. Ponder's fine.
This one's called It's Alright. It's dedicated to the friends and family of Sandy Copeland, who are here tonight.
Gonna get attacked for 7 here. Go to 7. Saga. Yes.
Hey man, come on down. They're selling truth on the corner now. Look at them all dressed in white. Say the angels must have came into town last night. Hey man, come on down. They got your fix on the corner downtown. Look at them with their
Force pitching dig.
down at the bottom, not knowing where to start singing.
Yikes.
Black or white, you can lay down and you can
Yikes.
break bread with the beggars and thieves. Or you
Okay.
high horse your way to
That feels good.
take that lesson that you learned today.
Push, eliminate.
Throw it away, but in the end you're gonna see you're the only
Gonna start.
just a game until the game stops being fun.
Twister feels very questionable.
Selling truth on the corner now. Look at them all
Vamp feels like it's a mess.
came into town last night. Hey man, come on.
Huh.
They got your fix on the corner downtown. Look at
Cut Citadel. So I think my life total is a resource too valuable to risk like that. And 2 more. Oh, Hercules is pretty bad. And Shave of Force of Will. Shave of Force of Will feels pretty okay. Yeah, we'll Shave of Force. Sure. I like all this well enough. Alright. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out. I really appreciate it. So right now we are playing some Blue Tinker, tentatively playing this list for tomorrow's Eternal Weekend event. Tentatively. We'll see how I feel at the end of this stream. For anyone who is curious and not familiar, we are currently listening to a band called Poor Man's Poison, a personal favorite who was kind enough to allow me to listen to their music on stream. So you can always find the track information down next to the Swish Gaming banner, the bottom center.
My head's hanging low and my shoes are worn. I've had the blues in my soul.
I would love to play first.
The devil's been on my back now for quite some time.
Oh god, this is greedy. I like it, but it's greedy.
And a whispering wind and it's time to find a little peace.
Probe you.
And I said, hey, Mr. Head, going my way, I could sure use a ride out of this place. Hey, Mr. Head, he's coming around.
Sick.
Sure use a ride out of this town, 'cause it's a long way down to the bottom. It's a long way to get back on top. I said, hey, Mr. Head, going my way, I could sure use a ride out of this place.
Opponent's hand doesn't really do anything at current. They're on the plan to blast this thing. And if I force the blast, I don't know that they ever get anywhere.
Eyes in the mirror, watching myself go down dead end. I've been waiting.
I just clock them with a 3-2 over a few turns.
It's like going through hell on a Sunday, but then going through hell's about all I got. I said, hey, Mr. Head, going my way, I could sure use a ride out of this place. Hey, Mr. Head,
Opponent has me pegged on Force of Negation, it looks like. Sick. Do you draw Force? I think opponent right now is weighing if they drew Force of Negation, then if I... Okay. That's a new card. We didn't know about that one. So opponent is also on Jeskai, not just blue-red. That's new information. Is this Snapcaster's Ambush Viper? Okay. What do you think I have, opponent? The funny thing is, I think opponent has me pegged on either Flusterstorm or Mystical Dispute. That's pretty good. I don't hate that at all. I'm willing to trade this off. Because I feel like opponent's plan is Snapcaster target Pyroblast. If they do that, we stop in their upkeep and we flash in this other one. Yes. Yep. I once again ask you, opponent, did you find Force of Will? Daze doesn't do it. Double Daze doesn't do it. You did find Force of Will. Okay. I know opponent has Scalding Tarn, Ponder, and one unknown. Now two unknowns. There's the Tarn. Fetch with Tarn, sure. Opponent's play patterns have been strange for being on Jeskai. Red, white, Arcanist, sure. Time Walk, okay. So opponent's hand is currently... Okay, there's the Ponder. We now know nothing in our opponent's hand, but opponent doesn't have very many cards in hand either. This Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to flashback this Ponder. Okay. Yup. Get yourself another Ponder, sure. Put another card into their hand. Okay. It's also funny that Magic Online feels the need to specify that X is 0 when opponent casts Ponder. There's a Preordain, sure. Pearl, yup. That ain't it, Chief. Sanctuary for Time Walk, yup. Preordain into Time Walk. 1, 2, 3. Opponent can still walk. Yes. I can't really stop this Time Walk from doing its thing. I don't care about that even a little bit. This is where opponent casts Time Walk and I get to blow them out with Dispute. Because they decided to dress down to draw into Time Walk. Wild. I don't currently have anything valuable for this Pithing Needle. Like, I could name Dakfaden, I could name Narset, but I don't currently see anything that I want this needle to shut off, so I'm just gonna wait. That's unfortunate. My Ponder, sure, sure. Island. I mean, that one seems pretty good. Not gonna lie. Yikes. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, opponent's gonna bury me in cards here with this Dreadhorde Ancestral. Oh, right. I was just dead. Wasn't paying attention to my life total. That's important, friends. When you're playing against the aggro deck, you should start paying attention to your life total, and I definitely wasn't. So, good for me, I suppose. So, 0-1 to start. Wild. I guess I didn't properly peg opponent on Jeskai. The way they played that first game, they definitely felt more like some sort of blue-red aggro deck. But, huh. Alright, well, there's that, I suppose. Sure. Not too stressed out about that.
truth is, when we hear about those less fortunate than ourselves, and we wish there was something we can do, we simply
Kind of wondered if Q's would be a little rough today. It was based on the nature of there being an Eternal Weekend event going on. So, kind of figured that might be something we ran into a little bit, but not a big deal. Just want to get in some final testing before playing tomorrow's event. I still feel pretty good about Blue Tinker as a whole. I will say that looking at I am actually level 1, Justin Gennari's numbers, it wasn't converting incredibly. And the decks that were converting pretty well were Grixis, Breach, and Dredge. And there was definitely some thought to... Yes, please. I was definitely giving some thought to... Nope. Mull that. Mull that one too. Holy wow, friends. Alright. Keep. Mull the 5. So I have to put 2 of these away. Jet. Hullbreacher. Top. See, if my top gets messed up, I'm gonna be real sad. Yup. So our opponent just jams a turn 1 collector roof, and I get real sad and have to force, and they force back and I lose. Lotus is fine. Flooded Strand, sure. Are you showing me double oof? That would make me pretty upset. Just let me force 1 and then the other one just shows up anyway. Blue? Yeah, I don't care about that. That says to me that opponent feels like their hand is not good enough. Not that I feel like my hand is great, but... I feel like if I spin this top into a blue card, I start feeling much better about my life. And the fact that opponent cracked Lotus for Brainstorm... Weird. How is everyone enjoying their Saturday so far? Wild. So you reveal a basic land, put that in your hand. Okay. So opponent's on Hermit Druid combo, which is one of the craziest things I've seen all day. Gas. I'm interested in a lot of things here. I think I'm gonna draw. And then cast this needle. I will 100% name Hermit Druid. Promise. Promise, promise, promise. You've pitched your gush.
Wayfaring
What do you got?
while traveling through
Hermit Druid. Sure. Hermit Druid attacking for 1? Hell yeah. What do you got, opponent? I'm gonna Ancestral here because I don't know what I want with this Saga right now. Okay. Nope. Float. Good plan, opponent. Good plan. I honestly don't hate having my own Lotus here, because having my Lotus means that I have this Force of Negation, so I think I'm just going to take my Lotus. And then cast this. Cast this. Play Saga. Say go. Okay. So, opponent has turned back on their Hermit Druid. Preordain's fine. The opponent is obviously looking for some sort of permission. Yep, activate. Okay. Alright. Therapy, therapy, therapy. There's the Dread Return. Show me Oracle? That's gotta be the kill, right? There's the Oracle. Okay. Yikes. All of those feel pretty bad. This. Opponent doesn't currently know what's in my hand. I didn't see a bridge, so they have to sack these things to... Yup, you picked the wrong course. Sick. Okay. So, cage, needle, lantern. I'm basically gonna treat them as if they are dredge. As funny as that sounds. Cut Citadel. The reason I'm gonna treat them as if they are dredge is because I think that the cages... Maybe I don't need the other needle. I have 2 needles already. Hercules feels like it doesn't really do anything. If Twister has meaningful text, they've already won. And then... Can cut Vamp? Cut Vamp seems reasonable. Yeah, I like all this well enough. Yeah. Yeah. What a wild league. Jeskai and a Hermit Druid. Huh. I mean, yeah. That's fine. I don't care about Deathray Shaman. Ooh. Narset? You get another force? You do. Wild. Okay. So opponent is on Deathrite Shaman the end. I have my Crypt in play, but I don't... Like, that doesn't scare me. On the flip. Play Saga. I like my win condition better than yours. You're alright. Opponent is on the slow grind Deathrite Shaman me out plan. Lost a flip. Rough. Another Deathrite, sure. Make a thing. Rough. Reasonable. You have assumed correctly, a friend. Gonna name... Grab Needle. Name Deathrite Shaman. Crash for 8. Wild. Hey. Attack for 16. What do you got, opponent? Alright, cool. Well, I mean, it feels bad to bully Hermit Druid because, like, what they're doing is definitely cooler than what we're doing, but also, we take our wins. So that's 1/1. Yeah, I always love the notion of the Hermit Druid decks, and then I see them in action, and I'm like, wow, that is unfortunate. Yeah, like, opponent kept, like, was a reasonable enough plan B, and just like, hey, we're gonna Death Rate Shaman you out, and then, like, draw into Druid to win the game. And then they never drew into Druid. I never drew an interaction, and I just Saga'd up a needle and shut off Death Rate Shaman. That was the end. So, wild. I do think that something like that is, like, well enough positioned right now. Like, a bug shell is very reasonable right now, and a bug shell that just has, like, an I win button is pretty cool. But Hermit Druid requires so many things and pieces that I just don't think that that's the route that I would go. Yeah, wild. I also wonder, like, if you were gonna play a bug shell with a combo in it, I wonder how viable it is to play something like the Chain of Smog, Witherbloom Apprentice combo in this format right now, because a lot of people are foregoing, like, actual creature removal in favor of a bunch of blasts and, like, flusterstorms and garbage, and it just feels like one of those things where you could just kind of casually get people. I feel like your bug mirror is a little rough because you have to make room for, like, cards that aren't necessarily great. Unsure. But either way, 1-1 is not a bad start. And, like, losing to Jeskai, I feel like, is something that kind of is inevitable. If they draw hands with the right amount of and the right kind of interaction, I think they're going to beat us, like, 80% of the time, just because they're kind of designed to answer most things. But I also feel like they're going to have, like, random Swords to Plowshares hands that just don't line up. Huh. This is a high roll. But if this high roll pays off, we just, like, resolve Vault Key, win the game. An opponent is on 8 cast. Okay. Sure. Pay costs, Emery, yup. Flip, sure. Not what we were looking for, promise. Lotus, Ruby, Tutor, grab key. Now all I need to draw is land. Ruby, sure. Yep. Draw land, bonus points if all... Tinkers? Yeah. Tinker into Citadel. Nope. Land. Key. Sick. Alright. You have a turn. Bauble. Yup. Lotus. Sure. Ancestral. Oop. Besties. Opal. Sure. Land. Fetch. Opal, sure. Opponent basically like has to find a Hercules recolor, they die? I don't hate our odds here. Sure. Yeah, I mean, Emery can attack, that's fine. Good talk. Dispute. Dispute. Let's see. I don't hate the removal. I don't hate Hercules. I don't love Misstep. Don't know that I want Vamp. Don't really want to Twister him. Take Eliminate. That's probably good. Can shave a Fluster for a Hercules, I think. Fluster is only medium against this deck as a general rule. Sure? Sapphire's fine. Opal, yup. Probe you for life. Opponent has Hercules Recall, Force of Will, Urza Saga. I'm going to this Jet pass. Saga's out of their hand. Why? That's fine. Regular construct. Sure. Tutor for Pithy Needle. What is Needle gonna name? Saga? Yeah, that doesn't necessarily feel like it's great for you, friend. I'm gonna take 5. Gonna cast this because I think that it requires them to respond. No, opponent disagrees. Play a Saga. And just pass. I have multiple pieces of interaction. I think opponent's hand is pretty generically weak. I mean, like, they're gonna beat down pretty quick. There's key. Pitch this Urza that I can't currently cast. They're gonna force back. I'm gonna fluster. What did they pitch? They pitched a Hercules Recall. Ooh, does opponent also just opponent also just has fluster. One, two, three, four, 5. They're just countering all my force negation. Which means that's just gonna happen. They're gonna get a time vault in play and I need to be able to beat it. If opponent just casually has another mana source, I lose. I guess this is just gonna find me the answer. They have Hercs, but I can beat a Hercs. Oh, shit. I needed to block there. Yikes. Alright. So, I think I want another Hercules Recall. I think I can cut the Eliminate and just not worry about it. I feel like this is mostly a race. I feel like this is mostly a race. That feels reasonable. I feel like this is the card that's gonna win me the game. Gonna make opponent respond to this. Soul Ring go. Yup. Sure. Time Vault, yup. So if I bounce here, we still just lose to Fluster. They don't currently have Key. I can Herx them in response to Key. Opal's fine. Feels like they're just trying to make their Fluster good. Emery's fine. Sure. Four, five, six. What's the plan here? Blue. What do you got planned, opponent? Three. Tinker, sacking. I'm gonna counter. Activate this, make another one. Going to Needle for Time Vault. Dispute. Four. Recast Opal. Sure. Sure. That's not a May. We're gonna... Nice. Got him. Well, that's it exactly, alright, Travis. Like, I had multiple avenues covered. Like, if opponent had a way to put Key in play, I just Herx them in response. And if opponent went for a draw spell, which, like, they did, okay, flash in Hullbreacher, get the mana for Herx by them casting a draw spell. Felt pretty gas, not gonna lie. That's one of the few matchups that feels like super play draw dependent. Like, I feel like a lot of the matchups you can kind of, like the play draw doesn't matter as much. You can kind of fight your way back in regardless. Whereas with that particular matchup, I feel like you really care who wins the die roll. Travis, Grixis Breach or like Grixis Tinker? All right, round 4. Well, that's, I mean, pretty gas. I wish this was Force of Will. Like, super, super, super wish this was Force of Will, but... I'm gonna keep. See you go.
And when you finally forget your purpose, you'll be stumbling on down the side of the road. Oh, you know it ain't good for you to keep going on like you do.
Sure.
Time's running away and it's running fast. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
I know. I used to walk down the very same road. And if I could, I'd give you something.
I should fetch.
See, he don't care about you.
I just looked at this and I'm like, wait a minute. Opponent just showed me Underground Sea. I should fetch.
Yeah, the devil's prize.
Don't care. You can ponder away. This feels like opponent is Doomsday. This feels a lot like opponent is Doomsday. Sure, Delta, Jet, yup. I go back to this feels like opponent is Doomsday. This one. This one. Definitely supposed to sack Emerald there, but alright. So because opponent has 1 mana up, I can't fluster back.
The devil just left, he said he had to go. It's funny how it works our way.
Because I would go 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. They would just pay for 1, and I would still get my Tinker countered.
You're almost done, you got the devil on the run, and you ain't got no
No.
price to pay. I said I know. I used to walk down the very same road, and I think you kind of
That's pretty funny, Travis, not gonna lie.
see he don't care about you. All the good or the bad you do know. You can't take your life, you ain't paying the price. Yeah, the devil's prize. Yeah, the devil's prize.
Yeah, opponent smells a whole lot like Doomsday. Just trying to figure out what their plan is here. What this needle gets? Anything? Probably not. Doesn't really do anything. Flooded Strand, fetch, sure. Second time we've done that already today, let's go. Preordain's fine. You're making my fluster better, I like that. Excuse me. Ponder. Misstep, force, time walk. Don't shuffle. Time walk. So if opponent is Doomsday, I guess we can name Necro with Needle. Necropotence. Is you? Mystical Tutor, sure. Get Doomsday? It feels like it has to be the thing you're missing, right? Otherwise, I feel like you would have cast it. Brainstorm. Oh, okay, we need a way into the pile. Mm-hmm. It'd be pretty funny if they just, like, had the Necro in hand and now they have to brainstorm it away because... Sure. It's fine.
So let you in on a little secret. There ain't nothing you won't worth keeping. Rat racing for a bunch of fools golden on the way down there. You done sold your soul, so just remember
Uh-huh.
comes around. Stepping on people just to come back down. Pockets as deep as the grave you in, but then pockets won't save you from the end, my friend. And now there ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of money.
You just brainstormed something back. So this one's gonna tutor up Needle for Street Wraith, I think. I think that's gotta be the game plan at this point. Yup. Okay, what do we got? Is this the Floster? What are we doing? You tell me, opponent. What are we doing? So I've got this Flusterstorm with your name on it, friend. Force pitch force. Okay. Same target. Same target. Doomsday. Doomsday. Alright. Yes. Needle. Name Street Wraith. Now we're just gonna clock our opponent. So now opponent cannot Street Wraith other than casting it. Opponent can't put a Necro into play to try to get card cards back. I was probably supposed to name those in the reverse order, I think. Put you to 1. Be pretty rough for you to cast it. Yeah, cool. Dispute, dispute. I think that's really all I want. I could bring in stuff to fight with their breachers or whatever. I don't know that it's great. I don't want to twister them. Herx feels bad. Yeah. Feels like all I really want. Deal. I just need to keep control hands. Nope. Sorry, ignore that. It was me threatening Windows previously because it wasn't behaving properly. I keep having to toggle the window that has my music playing in the background because for some reason OBS is having a rough time today. Huh. Alright. Nice. Oh, buddy. Jet. Needle. Name Street Wraith. Crypt. Trap it. So the beauty of this right now is that I have access to Force of Negation and Fluster. Yikes. Yes, opponent. You have Cascataxi and Pro. You can see my hand, which contains 2 counterspells. Blue, black. Time Walk is fine. Reardon is also fine. Flooded Strand. Underground Seed. Crypt. Keep losing my coin flips. Let's go. Do all my fetching now. Yup, Brainstorm is fine. I think opponent's plan is to let me die to this Mana Crypt, which is wild and adventurous of them. What do we got, opponent? Again, I appreciate everyone joining me on your Saturday afternoon. Currently, we are 2-1, right? I believe it's 2-1. Ritual's fine. Alright. 4. Cast. Hey. That's a win condition. That's even a pretty reasonable win condition. Yup, fetch. They know the top of their library isn't great because they put it there. Ancestral's fine. I think I can pay through a Flusterstorm right now as we sit. Preordain's also fine. Our game plan now is just to make constructs with Saga. Kind of kill them that way. Mox, yes. Tails, yes. Cool. I'm waiting to make until opponent's end step, because in their end step, then I have more control over what I lose to. Tails, sweet. Needle, Necropotence,
This song's kind of new. It's not on a CD or nothing.
Cast Ruby.
It's called Pressure Cracks. You guys enjoy.
I'm leaving opponent the ability to crack their fetch land because I don't feel like that is even remotely close to what I lose to. Awesome. Alright, 3-1. It's feeling pretty good. We beat Doomsday. We beat Hermit Druid. Yeah, so again, I feel like now that I'm kind of getting a feel for the play patterns of this deck, I feel like this deck is very strong. I feel like yesterday's, or rather Friday's, yeah, yesterday's results are going to be skewed a lot by a lot of people who did exactly what I did at first. And let's look at the power of this deck and go, yep, that's it, audible, boom, done. This deck is more complicated than that. And I think that a lot of people are going to misunderstand exactly to what degree. There's a lot of weird fights you're going to pick. There's a lot of things that matter that you're going to have to ignore and try to play through and play around. Just based on the nature of the way that your hands play out. So it's very interesting. But I definitely think that this deck is very, very powerful. And I feel like this deck has the ability to convert very well. Again, I think a big part of it being that a lot of people who aren't necessarily native to the format are going to do exactly what I did and go, deck feels busted. That one, let's go. So, yeah, gameplay now is just, let's see if we can put one more up, take a 4-1, and wrap up a little bit. In fact, while we're waiting here, I'm going to cancel this real quick. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back, and then we will try to jam our last match. Everybody stay tuned. I'm so sorry. I will be right back. All right, everybody. Sorry for the delay there, but let's get back into this. So yeah, I definitely like the way this feels. It hasn't come up yet in this particular league, but I have liked having Sphinx main. Like I said, I did some testing with my friend Greg the other day after my stream, and I really liked the feeling of having, especially against Dredge or Bug or something like that, just put this big dumb robot into play, you figure it out. Because a lot of times they just can't. A lot of these decks aren't playing cards that can interact with Sphinx of the Steel Wind. A lot of people right now are banking on things like Assassin's Trophy, Oko, Lightning Bolt, Prismatic Ending. Yeah, confirm, Travis. Big Dumb Sphinx is good. So having Sphinx main against the decks that are trying to answer your stuff with Oko, Trophy, Bolts, like, feels great. And then in the matchups where they're just, like, trying to Herx you, like, we weren't tinkering for Sphinx anyway. We were tinkering for Bolas the Citadel. So, yeah. Alright. Here is match 5. Fingers crossed our opponent shows up, and then we'll, try to push this into a 4-1. So, I did mention at the top of the stream, after this Eternal Weekend event is over, I will be going back to playing a little Legacy on stream as well. Potentially some Pauper or whatever as well. Other Eternal formats. Yep. Okay. They mold the 6. So we could feasibly get Shopsed. Yep. Chops. Yep. If opponent puts Soul Ring on the stack, I am, Alright, Travis, enjoy your dinner. Yeah, if opponent puts Soul Ring on the stack, I'm 100% just misstepping it. Not close. Bye. That's fair, Travis. That's fair. Workshop. Rude. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you gonna spear me again? No. Okay. Rude. All right. So I don't think like opponent has really basically anything going on here. Okay, so opponent is on the stage plan, the depth stage plan. I could have cast Time Walk there and tried to dig myself into something else, which I think would have been a pretty reasonable thing to do. But I also don't think opponent is anywhere near doing their thing, which means I'm kind of okay with all this. Revoker? Helm, sure. Okay, yeah, this is combo shops. Tomb, sure. Stage is gonna copy Underground Sea, sure. I don't care about that. Nope.
So let's take the storm head on to the wind and sway our glasses one more
Nope.
time with you, my friends.
There's the Saga, which is gonna find us key. All right. Nope. Yep, so we're pretty well set up. Opponent has to find a black source to cast what I assume is a ley line in hand. And I don't think they can do that with all of this going on, so... Nope. Key? Good talk. Hercules Recall, Hercules Recall, Hercules Recall. Needle, Islands, Vamp, Cutting Misstep. 2, 3, 4. I've got to decide if I think opponent is on... Oh, I can board in Karn. I'll just board in Karn. It's like I gotta decide if I think opponent is on Revoker, which I'm not sure about. Combo Shops doesn't normally play that. I don't really super care about the Golos. I can kind of deal with that. Oh, I can cut Citadel. And then I can board in, I guess, Dismember for a Golos. Or a thing. I think Herx is going to be good enough most of the time. Yeah, this feels like gas. Keep. I haven't seen Mirage Mirror out of opponent yet, but I like kind of have to assume it's there. Because opponent is very clearly on combo shops. Lotus, yes. Saga, sure. Rude. I want this Urza because I think this Urza is actually going to matter more than the Hullbreacher will. I say as I draw another Urza, of course. Sure. Crocus, yes. I'm gonna grab my basic here. Fetch.
I'm leaving town, I'm leaving today. Got me my fishing pole and ice chest on its way. You know vacations don't come around soon enough. So I just called in sick, said screw the pay. Got me a few brews and a little barbecue now. My fold-up chair sitting in the shade.
Perks you?
No, I ain't got the time 'cause I've been wasting it all. Out where that river's calling my name. Out where that river's calling my name. I said that river's been calling.
Hoping we draw a Karn off the top, everybody. Hoping we draw a Karn.
Down a few country miles away when I heard that river just calling my name.
Not Karn.
Now, good old Everett got to thinking about that boss man something fierce. He said that boss man, he's been slaving me away. And when that boss man, he told Everett to pull another double shift, he said, you know, I don't think I'm feeling so good today.
Yup.
Now, good old Everett, he weren't city-fied now, never really paid it no mind. He said them city slickers move way too fast. Now, you can just go on about your business.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything meaningful to interact here.
In the grass.
Out where that river's calling my name.
Opponent's just trying to vault key me now.
River's been calling my name.
Maybe that's a reason to play Misstep.
Back in town a few
They can just play around Misstep.
when I heard that river just calling my name.
Sure. Cage Lantern. I don't think I want any of this other stuff. I just want to try to erase them. I agree. I love all of this. This is so good for me. Yeah, you got it. Key. Needle. Helm of Obedience.
I remember passing by your place. I remember looking at a new look on your face. Not feeling welcome here, not feeling great. Not really knowing what I did, or what it takes.
So here's the problem with combo shops, right? Is that, like, I named Helm because they showed me a leyline, and they might be on a totally separate plan, and now I have to, like, completely and totally rethink about my life.
And I did too, and I may not be the best for you, but I pray and see
That's Mirror. Yup.
best for me. It was always you.
Time Walk. Not Time Walk, but reasonable. Lotus.
I remember seeing you around once or twice.
This opponent doesn't have mana to activate, so I'm not, like, terrified yet.
I remember seeing
JK. Gross. Yup. Ancient Tomb. Oh, Mirage Mirror is a copy of Time Vault. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. An opponent can just Time Vault me to death. Yup. Yup. I guess I'm gonna make a like, this is fine because the opponent has their crypt in play, and like that's like, I'm gonna make opponent show me an actual kill. Yup. Because now they're racing their crypt. And if they don't find a kill quickly, I have a Saga. That doesn't necessarily erase me. Yup, that's fine. That's also fine. Yup. Like, I also just have a bunch of constructs. There's stage, which doesn't do the other half of the thing. Yes. Okay. Okay. I have a 6/6. Oh, opponent has lost 3 crypt flips in a row. 5/5, 6/6. We trade off. Yeah, so like this is exactly my point too, right? Is like opponent wants me to concede to this Vault Mirage Mirror combo, but they have a mana crypt in play to do it. So opponent has to find a way to shut off this mana crypt. I don't know that they have one. Okay. That's a 5/5. Grab another artifact. Yep. I agree. You have an Ancient Tomb and a Mana Crypt in play. That's shut off. That doesn't matter either. And if you tap that Ancient Tomb, I'm even more likely to do the thing. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. What's the plan? This feels like opponent might not necessarily understand that, like, you know, Mana Vault, the Time Vault loops aren't like an indefinite random nonsense thing. How much are you gonna take more damage? Oh, okay. There's another Mirage Mirror, sure. Okay. Yep, becomes Time Vault. Take 2 extra turns. gonna take 9. Yeah, I needed an opponent to continue losing crit flip so they didn't continue losing. Yep. Yep. Cool. Well, all right. That's a 3-2. That combo shops matchup was like very, very, very close. Opponent wanted us to just slam concede to the time vault combo there. Wasn't about to do that. They had a mana crypt in play. They were at a very low life total, and I had a blocker. So me conceding to time vault there was not in my best interest. But so on the other hand, what I think I am gonna do for a change, a thing that we never do in this stream, we won a chest today. So everybody, let's party, let's open a chest. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. We'll kind of get to some of the end goal stuff in a minute, but let's open this bad boy. Chromatic Lantern and 25 play points. Sure. What's a Chromatic Lantern go for these days? Please ignore all my nonsense. Does that pay for another league? Probably not. Chromatic Lantern. No, it absolutely doesn't. Chromatic Lantern isn't worth anything at all. Ha! Good. Well, we own a Chromatic Lantern now, I guess. That's a thing that is now in my collection for some reason. But yeah, so kind of final notes. I really do enjoy this deck list. I think that the Tinker plan right now is very good. This is a known commodity. Bolus the Citadel is a messed up magic card. Furthermore, Sphinx of the Steel Wind is very, 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 very good in the current metagame. I like all of these things. Also, just having Urza and Saga as backup plans, great. Fantastic. You're just gonna win an unreasonable number of matchups because you make a couple big constructs and beat down. Like, again, my opponent assembled a Time Vault combo, and I didn't care because I was able to make a blocker with Saga. Right? I was just like, okay, well, like, you got this mana crypt to race, and I've got a blocker, so, like, figure it out. Yeah, so I think that the deck is very, very powerful. I do like having the Sphinx main instead of in the sideboard. Mystical Dispute as a general rule has kind of felt just because, like, Dredge is coming back, and what have you. So, like, I'm just not as in love with having all this, like, random blue hate garbage in my main deck. But having access to it in matchups where it is good is nice. But having this as just I'm gonna beat you down, gain a little life, and we're gonna have a good time, pretty great. Big fan. So, probably gonna wrap it up there for the day. Again, I will not be streaming tomorrow's Vintage Eternal Weekend event. I will be recording it, editing it, and then later posting it to YouTube. Probably actually going to go on the Team Swish YouTube, and then be part of the whole, like, composite with the article that I write for the Team Swish website about kind of delving back into Vintage after being away. So, stay tuned for that. And also, stay tuned for further content on both my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel going forward. I will be jumping back into Legacy a little bit. We'll kind of bounce back and forth. We'll play some Vintage because I'm actually kind of enjoying Vintage again, which is rad. So we'll be playing some Vintage, we'll be playing some Legacy, maybe we'll play a little Pauper or something. Modern, if that comes about. And also, we're going to start looking at some non-Magic content. my wife recently decided that she is interested in potentially doing a little casual streaming. So my wife and I have a Borderlands 3 playthrough to get to at some point. So you will probably catch us streaming a little Borderlands 3. Furthermore, you may notice that my stream schedule changes in a couple of weeks. Still up in the air. I have accepted a new work from home position with a company. So I will be going to completely remote work. I was told that my schedule might be roughly what it is now, which would put me keeping the same streaming schedule, or I might be working until like 8:30 in the evening. If I'm working until 8:30 in the evening, what that means is that my streaming schedule will shift back until later. So I will be streaming probably 9:30 EST onward. I will still be keeping 3 days a week. Those 3 days will still kind of be sporadic. You can definitely follow me on Twitter in order to find out what that's going to look like as things unfold. But for now, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I appreciate you coming to hang out with me and watching me 3-2 this league. And stay tuned for the video from tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Have a good day.